Love Island All-Stars Day 1 recap. What have I just seen? I absolutely loved it. So it was your average first episode. We of course got introduced to all the new islanders who of course are returning islanders for this series, and there was a few surprises along the way and a recoupling. The biggest surprise of course was Jake and Liberty being back in the villa together, and at the end the public voted them two to be a couple together. Really no surprises. We also have Toby and Georgia together, who were seen together in the Love Island games. The only other notable thing would have been Demi confessing the fact that she might have feelings for Chris, and the public also coupling them up together. But the biggest thing was the ending, which I absolutely loved, which we had the return of Callum from Series 6, but not only Callum from Series 6, the return of Molly. Bearing in mind, when these two first got together, it caused this moment.
Molly, welcome to the villa. Callum, you can see in front of you, Shauna decided to stay loyal to you.
Onwards and upwards, I suppose.
No, it's not a nice moment. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Congrats, hun.
And now Callum has to decide whether to couple up back with his ex Molly or break up one of the new couples. I can't wait for the next episode. Love Island All-Stars Day 2 recap. Not much happened in this episode, probably because it's episode 2, so there's no huge bombshells or anything like that happening around, but we got to find out who Callum decided to couple up with, and he decided to get back with his ex Molly. However, it's not sure whether he's actually going to properly couple up with Molly at some point in the future. The other big things that happened in this episode are we saw Liberty and Mitch getting quite close together. We saw little glimpses of a possibility between Hannah and Jake. However, because of the preview for tomorrow's episode, that might not go anywhere. We saw a few things with Chris and Demi. However, Chris seems to be like he could get with anyone at this point. And we saw Georgia and Toby probably getting the closest out of everyone in the villa. So far, quite a good episode. Excited for tomorrow. Love Island Day 3 recap. The biggest thing that happened in this episode was Jake unfortunately left, and we got to see a little interview between him and Maya Jama. It's a shame that he's left. I personally think it was probably because Liberty was there, but we'll never really know. The other big thing that happened in this episode was we got a big argument between Molly and Callum, and we started to find out a bit more about why they potentially broke up and what was going to happen in the villa between the two of them, and that was really cool to see. And then we've got Chris, who just took this opportunity of the fact that Molly and Callum has just had a fight and very smoothly just decided to kiss her.
So if you stare into somebody's eyes for 2 minutes, you're meant to fall in love. Do I'm getting bored of this? I'm just gonna kiss you.
You kissed me! Yeah. You got for a kiss!
That man has some style. And then the other main thing that happened in this episode was Mitch kind of got around a bit. He went from Liberty to Demi, and it's interesting to see who he's going to choose next. What happened on Day 4 of Love Island All-Stars? Well, it started off with the aftermath of last night's kiss. There may have even been a little tear from Molly. Then we got a great reaction from Hannah, who got a text saying that her and 2 other girls would be going on dates with a bombshell. And that new bombshell happened to be Josh from Series 1. Josh then proceeded to have 3 dates, one with Georgia S, one with Hannah, and one with Georgia H. With Josh coming into the villa, Lewis decided to step things up with Demi, and we got a proper snog from the 2 of them. Finally, the episode ended with the announcement that there would be a recoupling with the girls picking. However, as Josh has just arrived, they've decided that Josh gets to decide who he couples up with first, and then the girls will pick the rest. And we'll find that out in tomorrow's episode.
Well, that's just quite interesting.
What happened on Day 5 of Love Island All-Stars? Well, we start the episode off with the recoupling, and the major talking point from that is that Kaz picked Lewis even though he just had a kiss with Demi. And after the recoupling, Lewis absolutely lost it and went for Mitch.
Don't chat to or what?
However, Mitch's night turned around in the evening when him and Liberty had a few kisses in bed. Toby decided that Georgia wasn't the only girl he wanted in the villa and decided to talk to Molly, which caused some tension between Georgia and Toby, which only got worse after the punk party. And to finish off the episode, we had another bombshell arrive. This time it was Arabella,
I might have recently come out of a relationship, but I'm ready to meet the man of my dreams to get me back in that villa.
He was going to be having an after party with all the boys, which is making the girls slightly worried.
Arabella. I know Arabella. None of us are safe, absolutely not.
Love Island Day 6 recap. We got the introduction of Arabella back in the villa and it caused a lot of drama. Arabella basically made her moves on 3 people. Chris, Mitch, which then caused issues with Liberty and caused an argument between Liberty and Mitch after Demi revealed to Liberty that Mitch told Demi that she was number 1, and that caused the argument at the end of the episode. And Toby, which has caused drama between Georgia and Toby because it looks like them two aren't going to be a thing anymore, and so Georgia has now decided to start going in for Callum, which has then caused drama because Molly and Callum are still coupled up, and Molly is wondering whether them two as exes could potentially get back together or not. It was an episode full of a lot of twists and turns. Love Island All-Stars Day 7 recap. This was the first day where we had 2 proper dumpings.
Demi and Lewis. I'm afraid your Love Island journey has now come to an end.
We unfortunately lost Demi and Lewis because of a recoupling. Maya Jama came in and said to the new Islander Arabella that she needed to recouple, so she decided to steal Chris from Demi, leaving Demi vulnerable. And then we got the shock return appearance of Tyler from Series 7, who of course dated Kaz, and it was in the final with Kaz. I mean, there are so many people from Series 7 now that it just feels like another episode of that series. And Tyler ended up stealing back Kaz away from Lewis, and that ended up meaning that Demi and Lewis both got surprisingly dumped. The only other things that happened in this episode were Molly and Callum still trying to work out their whole situation and beginning to talk to other people. And Liberty basically made it clear to Mitch that she doesn't want anything to do with him.